What is good, people? Welcome back to the channel. I am, of course, your host, Big Dre. The Bitcoin ETF has finally been approved. If you do like seeing this type of content, crypto related content, make sure you do hit the like button. But a few articles for you to have a look at. So the first one is talking about the Bitcoin ETF itself. Okay, so this is the Guardian. I put them up a lot because you should be using trusted news websites or journalism websites. So this article confirms that the Securities and Exchange Commission, which is the SEC, the same ones that sued XRP and lost, they have approved for there to be a spot ETF for Bitcoin. So if you're wondering what exactly the ETF does, so essentially what that does, it puts some regulatory system in place for this to be clarity for investors. So for instance, BlackRock can invest into this crypto asset, aka Bitcoin, and because it's regulated, the investors that put their money into it have some sort of, let's say, insurance policy in case things go wrong. That's essentially what it is. And all they're going to do is just trade Bitcoin. So firstly, what has been approved? So you see here, the SEC has given a green light on 11 ETFs of Bitcoin. Remember, this is only in the US. This doesn't include Europe, doesn't include the UK. So it's just giving you the green light if you're an investor in the US, meaning that those ETFs can actually be traded on the stock exchange. Now they're selling this to people as it's an easier way to get into crypto, to get into investing into Bitcoin. However, it's not that hard. They're talking about creating a digital wallet as if it's a hard thing. It's easy. Anyone could create a digital wallet. You can go on Coinbase, Binance, MetaMask. There's so many different wallets out there that you could use, and they're easy, simple to set up. You don't actually need a physical hard wallet or a USB drive, you want to call it, to actually get started in crypto. But the SEC have still said that crypto itself is still very risky and that people should be very cautious about investing into Bitcoin and other crypto related assets. Now, there were talks about the ETF way back last year from about October times, and the price jumped up 70% from October until now. It's gone up 70%. And they also mentioned the fact that back in November 2022, it was at $16,000. But of course, there was loads of different black swan events, FTX scandal, loads of different things that happened which caused the price of Bitcoin and the whole crypto market itself just to crash. But what a lot of people are saying is because the ETF has been approved, it now means big investors like BlackRock are going to be pumping billions and billions into Bitcoin, and they expect to see Bitcoin might even hit potentially 100k this year. Now, I wouldn't personally say that's going to happen. Of course, it all depends on what happens with Bitcoin. It's still very volatile, and crypto itself is still very unpredictable. So I don't really know how they're going to do that. But the more investment there is from these big players, then of course, the more stable the crypto asset can be. And the main reason why they're all saying Bitcoin to the moon is due to the fact that they're comparing Bitcoin and gold. So now this is SPDR. This is live, by the way. This ticker is live. So it's showing you the price of gold today. It's down about 0.36%. So what they're saying is, look, when the spot ETF for gold was approved back in 2004, it was literally around here, it's only gone on an upward trajectory. So that's what they were talking about. So look, if I show you the bullion, I show you the actual graph. So look, from about here, which is 2004, is it 2004? That's 2005. Yeah, which is literally 20 years ago, a long time ago. It's literally gone up. It's gone all the way up, look. So what they're saying is Bitcoin is going to follow exactly the same trajectory. But I also want to point out to you, look, every single time there has been some sort of government body or regulatory body that gets involved with crypto or Bitcoin, we have seen a drop. Every single time they've got involved, we've seen a drop. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen this time. This might be something positive, but I just want everyone to bear that in mind. And of course, the reason why gold went up the way that it went up is because gold was always seen as a store of value. So unlike Bitcoin, which people were just using as a form of payment and we're trying to get people to use it as a store of value, gold has always been seen as a store of value. So when they launched the ETF, there was only one way for it to go because everybody already had that in their mind that this gold is the store of value. In order for Bitcoin to do the exact same thing that gold has done, it would need to be seen as a store of value. You'd have to first put people's minds away from using it as a form of payment and more so using it as a store of value. So there'll be less people using Bitcoin to buy things and spend it, which is what Bitcoin wants you to do as a company, because that increases their stock value, that increases their actual publicity, marketing, all of that stuff. But you'd have to make sure that Bitcoin itself just becomes seen as a store of value. So yes, you can trade it and you can exchange it, but instead of using it to pay for things, it would have to be seen as a store of value. Now, this article is saying that gold itself is surged 350% after their ETF was approved. I keep saying it's different because gold was always seen as a store of value. Bitcoin is not seen as a store of value, seen as an exchange, but seen as a token of exchange and a currency. Yes, some people do use it as a store of value, but as we can see from what happened through 2022 and 2023, if you was using it as a store of value, it would not have given you a great return. So this graph here shows gold. So this is the point of the first initial ETF approval, and this is it rising 346%. And of course, there's going to be dips in the market, just like there is in any market. There will always be dips. So what they're expecting is from here, we're going to see Bitcoin climb up, and they're saying it's going to go up to 138K. Now, it's great that the ETF has been approved, and of course, it's a great look for Bitcoin and crypto as a whole. However, in the grand scheme of things, this is not great because we're still bringing in more regulatory confinements, and I'm calling it confinements because you're restricting Bitcoin. It's going to restrict the uses, it's going to restrict how people can use it, what they can use it for. You may not see it coming now, but that is exactly what's going to happen. It's going to become so restricted, which is not what we wanted Bitcoin for. But the whole point of why we like Bitcoin is because it can't be controlled. Now, no one knows what's going to happen next. Realistically, we have to wait until middle of the year, around July time, to see exactly what's going to happen. But the one thing they're not saying to you is this being approved, this ETF being approved, is just strengthening Bitcoin's dominance. And the more dominant Bitcoin becomes, the less important crypto as a whole becomes, because everyone's just looking at crypto. Everyone's not looking at crypto, they're just looking at Bitcoin. Now, if you look at it this way, the altcoins, they have been following Bitcoin, but they've dropped so much lower than they have in the previous years. So if you go back to like 2021, you will see they weren't as low as they are today. And that's because Bitcoin dominance is becoming much, much more great. So everyone's taking their assets or taking their money from the altcoins and investing it into Bitcoin. And so what that means is the majority of these coins are going to die out. Once people actually realize what's going on, the majority of these coins are going to die out. Remember, guys, this is not financial advice. It's just my opinion. This is something that you should do. This is how you do your research. This is how you do your due diligence. You know what I'm saying? Your DYOR. Do your own research. Guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. It has been your boy, Big Dre. So make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe.